Hey everyone, it's Fun Around, and my name is Jordan, and we are back to having a actual slate of games after the All-Star break. Teams could be rusty. We have no idea what it's going to look like. Hopefully, teams come out and play well or don't play well based off what you bet. But I'm going to be clashing two different worlds of two different apps that you've probably heard of watching a bunch of YouTubers or looking at people on Twitter and all that. Props Madness reached out to me and they gave me access to their app, so I'll be meshing the data I find there with the data I have on Outlier, and we'll be trying to make good plays for Thursday's slate. So you will see images that come up on the screen right here. That's from a data app called Outlier. There will be a link in the description that'll give you a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And if I have something from Props Madness, I'll point it out and I'll show it on the screen so you'll know the differences. But let's go ahead and jump right into this. Last video, not necessarily the one for the Lakers and the Hornets, but the video before the break, I talked about DeAndre Hunter trade to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm a Cavaliers fan, and how that kind of gave them an upgrade in defense. That's why they went and got him, a 3-and-D type of player. His length on the perimeter is exactly what they needed, and they have been playing amazing defense, and they've just kind of leveled up. So I took Grady Dick and I took him on the under, and he scored just 2 points. He went 1 for 7 shooting. So now we have the Cavaliers up against the Nets. The Nets are not that good this year. This is a 13.5-point spread. Very high blowout potential here for the Cavaliers, just kind of take off. So I'm going to look at an under for the Nets, and as long as these keep hitting, we're going to attack guys on the wing with the Cavaliers going up against them, and then you have that blowout potential on top of it to where they might not even play in the fourth quarter, and it all just meshes really well with the way the Cavaliers have been playing and should be playing as they gel and get better defensively, which they already were pretty good, but now they're even better on the perimeter. They were good down low. So from the Nets, I'm going to go under with Ziaire Williams, under 9.5 points at -122. He did play them earlier this year, played about 20 minutes. He went 0 for 3, did not make a shot, did not even get that many shot attempts up. Over the past month against his position, which is small forward, they've given up the 14th least points, so kind of there in the middle. And then you get that upgrade with DeAndre Hunter. Williams has gone under in 7 out of his last 10 games. So there was a Keon Johnson that I was looking at, but Ziaire Williams just hasn't really been getting that much volume in general. And then Cam Johnson came back, and he hasn't been getting as much volume there with Cam Johnson back, and it's going to get even worse when Cam Thomas is back. But with Cam Johnson in the lineup, you'll see he kind of came back. This is filtered with Cam Johnson in the lineup. He kind of came back there in February, kind of just not too long ago, and he's only gone over once since Cam Johnson came back. But this season, he's gone under in 68% of games with Cam Johnson on the court. So basically 7 out of 10, every 10 games, he has gone under this line. So let's jump to Props Madness and take a look at the court and where Cleveland is good at. And Ziaire Williams scores 76% of his points near the rim in the restriction zone, and then beyond the arc there. And that's where Cleveland is top 10 at defending. So you have Evan Mobley, Jared Allen defending the rim. And then even before DeAndre Hunter got there, they're top 10, and now they're going to be even better there on the perimeter for his three-point shooting to really disrupt those shots with the limited attempts he's going to get. So he's averaging about 24 minutes over the past 5 games, and like I said, he played 20 minutes earlier this year against Cleveland and just got 3 shots up and missed all of them. And then here you see the last 2 players that played the forward position who played Cleveland, forward position on the perimeter, who played Cleveland, and they both went under. That was Scotty Barnes and Jaden McDaniels, both by 22 to 26% less than the over on those lines. So if we take that and apply it to this line at 9.5, we're looking at maybe a 7 or an 8-point game from him, which is still close, but an under is an under. And we have the blowout potential to go on top of it. So I like Ziaire Williams on the under at 9.5. If you guys could, please like the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. And if you only use Prizepicks and you want to get away from it and try out other apps, try out things with dynamic payouts and all that good stuff, check out Underdog Fantasy, ChalkBoard, Sleeper, BETR, and ParlayPlay. BETR will match your first bet up to $250. Underdog Fantasy will match your first deposit up to $1,000, and the rest will match your first deposit up to $100. Promo code is fine around 11. Links are in the description. That'll take you there. This next one, news came out that Victor Wembanyama is going to be doubtful due to an illness. So that leaves the Spurs with not much size against the Suns. And I looked for bowl lines, and I couldn't find any. I think Bol could potentially have a good game here just due to his size. But Nick Richards obviously is going to have some good rebounding opportunities and all that. But for the Spurs, there's going to be a lot of minutes and a lot of volume that's going to open up. Obviously, a lot of that's going to go to De'Aaron Fox, and then some volume's probably going to go to Devin Vassell. But a guy who's kind of been a sleeper as of late until the dunk contest, but he has been just quietly hitting his lines, has been Stephon Castle. And I like him over 13.5 points here at -120. So he's not directly going to be playing Victor Wembanyama's position. That's probably going to be Jeremy Zohan's going to step in and be the center. But they're going to really have to play small ball here against the Suns. And the Suns have really struggled against guards this year. They give up the 3rd most points to the point guard position over the past month, the 15th most points to the shooting guard position over the past month, and then the 2nd most to the shooting guard over the past 2 weeks. So they really struggle against guards in general. Recent history, Castle's gone over this in 8 out of the last 10 games. And since Fox has showed up, he went under in the first game, and then he's gone over in the rest of those games. So 4 out of 5 with De'Aaron Fox in the lineup, and that's obviously with Victor Wembanyama there as well. So he did play the Suns earlier this year on December 3rd. He dropped 16 points on them. So he has seen success against them. And then pulling up Props Madness, they're similar players. So this is based off their perception of who they think is similar, which I've tried that before, just going through and looking to see how a similar player that I felt was to that player, their play style, and how they've done against a certain team. So Props Madness has kind of done that and given their opinion, and their similar players have gone over their points lines in 9 out of 11 matchups against the Suns this season. And then by position, so guards, so 6 out of the last 7 guards have gone over their points line. We just had Jalen Green miss recently by 1 basket. So guards are doing really well here. The future for the Spurs is De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, and Stephon Castle. So I could definitely see them trying to, showcase him a little bit more here with Victor Wembanyama out. So like his over on points, you could go PRA if you wanted to as well. He has been hitting that pretty consistently. This next one is going to be Paolo Banchero over 23.5 points at -120. So he had an awful cold streak going before the All-Star break. It was like 6 or 7 games in a row. He was just scoring like 15 points. Like it was bad. And then he came up and played Atlanta, and I was like, I wrote like a paragraph of why I think he might break out. I didn't make it an official pick or anything, but I wrote like pretty much an article of why he could potentially break out because of his history versus them and the fast pace. Orlando doesn't play at a fast pace, and Atlanta is like one of the top 3 fastest teams in the NBA. So they kind of helped him just break out of that cold streak, and he ended up going over against the Hawks with 31 points, and then he took that momentum against Charlotte and he scored 24 right before the break. So he's coming out of the break. break, and he gets to play the Hawks, fresh. And if we take a look at the history here, he has gone over in 2 out of 3 last year against them, along with the one this year. So if you just combine those 4 games and look at the average, he's averaging 27 points against them this season and last season. It's just that fast pace is just amazing for his style. Then bringing up Props Madness, their scoring map and the zones. So his 3 best scoring zones make up 82% of his points, and Atlanta's bottom 10 in every single one of those zones. So, and then when you look at position rankings, they give up the most points to the power forward position. Like everything is in his favor. Look at similar players. I think it's funny they have Franz Wagner on there as a similar player, but I can kind of see it. They've gone over in 5 out of the last 6 matchups, and then players playing his position, which is just forward, not specifically power forward. They've gone over in 6 out of the last 7 matchups. So here against the Hawks, Franz Wagner's line, I don't hate him as well, but it's at like 27.5. These lines have been out since I think Monday, and they've just getting beat up all over the place, just bumped everywhere, and it sucks that I'm having to make the video the night before. If I release this on Monday, no one would be looking up, Thursday's lines or anything like that. So they've been just beat up, and we're just doing our best to find something good. So before I get into this last one, I want to shout out this app called Novig, and I can use this in my state of South Carolina. I do have to drive to North Carolina to bet on sports books, and I wasn't able to bet money lines or spreads or anything like that on Fliff, but this is an app like Fliff, but it works in these states that you see on the screen, and you can bet spreads, you can bet money lines. There will be a link in the pinned comment that'll take you there, and the promo code is FINDAROUND11, all caps, and you get 50% off up to $25, and you get $5 free just for signing up. So this last pick is going to be in the Pacers and the Memphis Grizzlies game. So the over-under total points is 250.5 right here. Might be the highest I've seen all season. So a lot of points to go around here, and probably a lot of overs if this stays true. So one guy that stuck out to me is Obi Toppin. I like him over 10.5 points plus assists. His points is at 9.5. So when you add the assists, you're just adding 1. So if you can get 1 assist, then you're right back down to the points line. If he gets 2 assists, then you're helping out the points line a little bit. So that's why I like it when it's just +1 for an assist, and the guys, they get assists more often than not. They will get 1, and then it's fine as long as the payout's still about the same. It's not that big of a deal. So he's coming off his best game of the year with 30 points. Miles Turner was out, and he will be returning, so he did get a minutes boost, but he can take that momentum into the second half of the season. He's gone over in 5 out of the last 7 games that he has played. And Outlier, they give insights, just random, like generated insights, and these 9 games right here he's gone over in 9 out of 9 games against bottom 10 defenses with scoring. So that are the teams that give up the most points. So Memphis has given up the 5th most points in the past month, and the 6th most assists in the past month. So 9 out of 9 with bottom 10. So if a team's scoring a lot of points and they're out there and they're running, Obi Toppin likes to get involved and be one of those guys. So Props Madness has him labeled as his best way of scoring is in transition. In Memphis, they play at one of the fastest paces in the NBA, and they give up a lot of points in transition. So this just helps him out. They're one of the top 5 teams to give up points in transition. So with Props Madness, I can kind of move it to the rankings to the top 10 teams in transition to see, that give up points, to see how he has done against those teams. And in 12 games this year that he's played against them, he's gone over in 10 of them. And then if you move it up to top 5 matchups, he's gone over in 7 out of 8. So not only does he score in transition, he likes to shoot threes as well. And he scores 20% of his points, so 1/5 of his points come from the 3-point line. and really just making one of them would be almost a third of this line. So Memphis is bottom 5 beyond the arc there and not in the corners for giving up threes. So they have their similar players. When I look at this list, these similar players are bigs that shoot threes and not bigs that get out and run. Like you see Brook Lopez on there. So those players in the last 7 matchups, 6 out of 7 have gone over. So I like this matchup for Obi Toppin to come off the bench. He was huge for them in the playoffs. He has started to get his role back with Miles Turner out. Hopefully that can continue with Miles Turner coming back into the lineup, and he can just get out and run in this fast-paced matchup. So that's 4 plays that I have for you guys. So if you'd like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. That is free. You can just hop on in and discuss plays all day long. It's a big slate. Lines have been out forever. I wish it was a big slate where they were fresh and we could get some like discounts on a lot of this stuff. Because a few of these have been bumped around. But I tried my best to, find something like Castle got bumped clearly because Victor Wembanyama was ruled doubtful, but he was even bumped before that just because his recent history, and he's been doing great. So I realized I didn't do a recap of the video before the break. I did have Ziaire Williamson over 24.5 points against the Kings because I said the Kings, I saw a game previously, like a few days before, they could not stop him. He went over that line easily. Grady Dick under 2.5 3-pointers made. He went under that. And then I had Malik Beasley over 14.5 points, and he hooked at 14. The Lakers games being played right now, I actually made a video with Luka Doncic under 25.5 points because of the Hornets defense on the perimeter. And then news came out that his minutes restriction was going to be lifted as soon as I released it. And there's rumors that LeBron wasn't going to play and everything like in the favor of the over. But I started filming at halftime, and it looks like his minutes aren't too high, and LeBron did end up playing, and he doesn't have many points at all. And it looks like that under might hit, and the one that I switched to might not hit. And I had LaMelo Ball over 34.5 PRA, and the whole reasoning was that he usually isn't on a minutes restriction coming off injury, but it kind of looks like he's on one. And he's just cold coming out and shooting. The whole Hornets team is cold. They had 36 points in the first half. So hopefully this isn't how teams are going to be tomorrow or today whenever you're watching this. Just coming out cold. So I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you. God bless you all. It's the final round. I'm glad. Thank you for all the comments about Luka. I'll make sure he'll make an appearance every once in a while. He just was not happy about that other one because there's ring lights here, and he was just kind of looking at them like, what the heck is going on, man? What are you doing to me? And so maybe he'll just get used to it. You can see the ring light reflection right there. So God bless you all. It's fun around. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.